Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika, and this is Atlanta, y'all. Okay, this is a review and recap for season 3, episode 5. It seemed like these daggone episodes be flying past, right? And so the name of this episode was Cancer Attacks, right? And so we seeing Ernest doing his thing, y'all. All right, he's stepping up and making his earnings, all right, as a manager now. We seeing him telling everybody where stuff go, what they gotta do. You know, he's telling this guy, no, Al don't like, well, Paperboy don't like, okay, no ginger ale. He want ginger beer. You could go ahead and get rid of all that ginger ale. And he's basically then, saying over the mic, does anybody have eyes on Paperboy? All right, he's trying to find where he's at and get to him. Now, in the meantime, the guy passed by with no problems through security, bringing coffee to the back. And this was the guy that Ern was telling, what needs to be in the room and what doesn't need to be in there and all of that. And as he's walking to the front to go and see where Paperboy is at, we actually seeing him texting, Van. We're also seeing these people come by with waters with no problem, right? And so keep your mind on that for a minute as well, right? And so, like I said, he's looking for Paperboy and comes to find out Paperboy is in this room basically kicking it with Darius, talking to him. Darius is showing him some blueprints, talking about this place that they could go to that could basically end up being an adventure for them. It's supposedly haunted. Paperboy is like, listen, I ain't messing with no daggone haunted places, all right? And he was like saying how he seen this ghost before, and they was like, man, that wasn't nothing but your daggone reflection, all right? Stop playing. And so then you have Socks come in, and I'm like, wait, Socks is still chilling with him? Because that was the white guy that they met, when they went to that weird party where Al was about to cut the tree down with the chainsaw, right? And his name was Socks, like the socks you put on, not SOX. So I remembered him. And I'm like, wait, he's still chilling with them too? So he's trying to get them to go to the strip club. But Al and Darius is like, nah, no thanks. And then Al starts basically making fun and putting on, accent, and he was like, a British accent. He was like, no, thank you. He was like, we're gonna pay £100 to see no titties, all right? And he was like, they gonna be talking about making rain all over them, and basically, they be trying to clap their ass together, and it ain't no ass. And so then, Ern comes and interrupts and tell him it's time for a meet and greet. They got the little boy that's from the Dream Foundation. So he's like, all right, cool, let little man in, and he go ahead and deal with that. And he tells everybody to step out the room. And so when Ern is going back to the front from where he just left at, with the security, like I said, that let this guy walk through with the cups of coffee, let somebody else walk through with cases of water. All of a sudden, he wants to stop Ern and make him show all his information again. While he's walking back to the front, we see that he's texting Van. He's saying, where the hell you been? It's been 6 days since since I last seen you. What's going on? Are you good? Then we see that he actually had deleted some of what he was going to put and just left it as it's been 6 days. So I'm like, well, what is good with Van? Because we still don't know what brought her out here, to them. She basically left her daughter with her mom, left this boyfriend. Remember when he last saw her, he was telling her that her mom is worried and that he's getting kind of worried too. So I'm assuming they're going to let us know what's going on with that a little later down the line. All right. And so getting back to him standing at the security, this security is doing this thorough check for him. And he's like, you do know that I literally just came from up here and that I'm going to be coming back and forth in and out. And he's like, yeah, I know, but I'm security is my job. And then he goes, you're good to go. And basically Ernest like, thanks. And he go ahead, back and say, where were we guys? And start telling them to check the barricades and, check all the photography and make sure everything's on point. And he's seeing a lot of people walking around. So like I said, Ernest doing his job, okay? And I'm like, okay, go Ern, I see you. So we see that Paperboy got these t-shirts, he got everything set up, right? And so you have Ern come back and say, okay, time is up. As far as the meet and greet, this show is about to start. You could go ahead and come on so we could get stuff together. And as they're waiting, for him to go out on stage, before he goes to go out on stage, he's actually asking Ern, how he's doing, and it's like everything that he's about to ask Ern for, he already prepared and knows what he's going to ask for before he asks for it, Before he could get it out his mouth, he's passing him the towel. When he asked about about to ask about the ginger beer. He's like, yep, your ginger beer is on the stage, and I also got you some waters because you seem like you might be dehydrated. You need to drink the water too. So he's on top of his stuff, and Al basically says to him, are you okay? And he was like, yeah, I'm good. He was like, it's just that you seem like you've been so busy lately. And he was like, yeah, well, busy is good. So we seeing Ern in a little bit of a different light, right? Where he's handling business and he taking stuff super, super serious compared to how he's been in the past seasons. We have Ern and Al and Darius all walk up to the front for him to get ready to go on the stage. Darius is basically being his hype man. He's kind of saying a prayer for him, hyping him up, whatever have you, trying to send him some good vibes. And we see this random guy come out on the stage where they all like, who the heck is this? And Ern tells him, get his ass off the stage. He was like, I don't know who the hell that is. And so when Paperboy goes out on the stage to perform, we got Darius in the back on the stage, getting down, dancing, going in, right? I need somebody to make a gif of that one, right? That was too cute. And he was basically getting in, just having himself a funky good time. In the meantime, Ern is still looking super serious, like, I'm here to just work. But even he had to crack a smile a little bit, And so when they go back, once the show is over, everything went good, whatever have you, and they ready to set up to go home. Al is noticing his phone is missing, and they like, what do you mean missing? They trying to look every which way for it, and they like, well, who was the last person back here? Because somebody had possibly took it by mistake. And so the first thing they think of is the little boy that came back there from the Dream Foundation. So they like, you don't think the little boy took it, right? So of course Ern starts calling over the loudspeaker like, does anybody have eyes on the little boy? And they was like, well, he's about to be taken out of here because he basically, had to call the EMS to take him, paramedics to take him to the hospital. They like, well, what happened? They talking about he had a cancer attack, right? And I'm like, I never heard that phrase before. That's the name of the episode, right? I'm like, now I know you have cancer and you could be not feeling well, but that was an interesting phrase to me. So nonetheless, Ern is trying to run to the front to hurry up and catch them before they leaving. And he's like, I really need to speak to that little boy. And then the mom is like, listen, he's sick. He got to go to the daggone hospital. And Ern is like, it's not going to take long. This is important. And the little boy's like, wait, ma, anything for Paperboy, what's wrong? What does Paperboy need? So instead of Ern being like, did you just so happen to pick up the phone by mistake or something like that? This fool just goes up on the stretcher, basically damn near filling the little boy down, looking all up underneath the blanket that's, on the stretcher, filling around the stretcher, and his father ends up pushing Ern, like, get off my son, and all the people that's around is like, whoa. And so when he goes back to Paperboy, he's like, yeah, no, he don't have it. Trust me, it wasn't on him. So they like, well, if it wasn't him, who else could it have possibly been that took this daggone phone, right? And so now they thinking, well, what about the guy that came out on stage? They like, I don't even know who the heck that was. And then Ern is like, well, no, I think he was the manager. He kept being all around. And so he goes back to the office to talk to the guy back there. And he's like, where's the guy that was, the manager? He had the blue jacket and brown hair. And he was like, oh, no, the manager's not even in today. He wasn't here. He was like, I'm filling in for him. So now Ern is really confused. He was like, well, who the heck was the guy? And was describing him to him. And the manager ends up saying, oh, that was my nephew. He actually was here, for a daggone interview. So Ern is like, are you serious? So he was like, well, call him. He's talking about, oh, I don't have no way to call him, but I have his father's number, but it's too late to call him. And he's just putting him through all these different changes. And Ern is like, well, listen, you're going to have to call somebody. He was like, right now? He was like, yes, right now. This is important. We need this. And so they some kind of way was able to get a copy of his resume and was able to get his information, off of that. And so now they basically go ahead and call him, right? And Ern is trying to be calm, like, oh, you was the guy that was out on stage. This is Paperboy's crew calling, you a fan. He's like, why don't you come on back? Do you live far from here? And trying to, slowly get into the fact of them wanting to get this phone back. Here comes Socks grabbing the phone, cursing the guy out, threatening his life, talking about they will hunt him down and kill him, that they on some mob shit. And he basically gonna say that he's the white Liam Neeson. And it's like, huh, you white? What are you talking about, white Liam Neeson? And so they ends up grabbing the phone from him, Like, what the hell are you doing? Of course, Paperboy is usually the one that's a hothead and can, have a bad temper, especially you messing with his stuff. But at this point, he's even trying to keep a cool head. So he grabs the phone from Socks and he's like, yo, man, forget about what he said. He was joking. He's not going to kill you. He was just playing. He was like, are you far from here? And he's trying to talk to him or whatever. And of course, all of a sudden they like hearing the guy hang up and they like, damn, basically because of this fool acting a daggone fool. And they like, what the hell, Socks? And he talking about, look, man, I'm sorry, but he's full of shit. He got the phone and all this other stuff. And Ern was like, we know that. That's why we was trying to keep it calm and get him back here. So they are over it with freaking Socks. And they was like saying, what the hell do you meant by, Liam Wilson, white Liam Neeson, you already white, just like I was basically saying. So I'm like, yeah, this damn boy is a fool. Y'all need to get the hell away from him. And so, Ern actually comes and end up telling him that the guy's back. And they all go to walk in, but they tell Socks, stay your behind out, all right? Because you don't cause enough damn problems. And again, they trying to keep it calm, trying to sit down and have a conversation with him. He's asking what's so important about the phone. I'm like, it's my phone. What the hell you mean? Then he gonna talk about he hasn't seen it. Maybe they could find it by doing like the Find My Phone app. And they was like, oh no, we don't mess with that. Like, he don't put no different apps on his phone. He don't put nothing because he feels like they track you and that's how they find you. And so he's like, oh, okay. But at the same time, he's turned, they're telling him Ern has this early flight. They like, please give him back this phone. He needs the phone or whatever the case may be. And so he starts asking Ern, what does he dream of? And he starts talking about this box Chevy car and all of this stuff. So, I'm sorry, he started asking Al, what does he dream of, I should say, and saying, is it a box car Chevy? And so Paperboy was like, that's it, out, and tells all of them to come out in the hallway with him. So Ern was like, what was that all about? What the heck is a box Chevy? And what, with the girl named Rose and all this stuff, what was Rose about? And so come to find out, Al says that a box Chevy is actually his favorite car, and that he did have a crush on a girl named Rose when he was in high school. And he was like, that's unreleased. Nobody wouldn't know that, but it is in the phone. So now this, he feels, is confirming even more that this guy had to have this phone. So they say they're going to play good cop, bad cop. And they go back in the room and, trying to stay as calm as they can, still asking him questions. And the guy's just still being really random and, he's basically saying, he was just waiting on his interview. That's what he was backstage for. He said, then why did you come back now? He was like, well, like you said, I really like Paperboy, whatever the case may be, and I wanted a chance to meet him. And he was like, but, I am a long-time admirer of his or whatever the case may be. But I was kind of scared at the same time because y'all was talking about killing me. So, of course, his uncle was like killing him. And they like, no, nobody was going to kill him or whatever. So they was like, like I said, trying to tell him over and over, like, if you have the phone, please, it would be really helpful. If you think, you're supposed to be the fan of his or whatever the case may be, you would be helping us in a big way by you would, giving back the phone. And when they're saying we weren't going to kill you, nobody's going to die, he's talking about, well, everybody's going to die sometime. There's no way around that, all right? We all got to die. You know that, right? And so, of course, Paperboy at this point, I felt like was about to snap at any moment and crack this daggone boy's neck. He's trying his best to, stay calm. And it's hard, all right? And so, like I said, he starts to bring up these dreams that he have and all of this. So by him giving this information and saying all of this, like I said, that just makes him feel even more like he has this daggone phone, And so Paperboy was ready to get on him. And he starts flying up a storm and was like, basically his nerves and his stomach or whatever, when he get nervous, he can't help it. He can't control it. And he apologizes to them for that. And so his uncle was saying, come on, he's just a kid. He's only 19. But he ends up saying he's 32. So, when they step back out into the hallway, Ern is like, listen, this is some weird shit. Either way is weird. He was like, if he's 19 is weird. And if he's really 32 and you've been thinking he's 19, that's weird. And the uncle talking about, no, there's no way he could be 32. Seriously, 32? He was like, I know it's been like 15 years since I seen him or whatever the case may be, but he can't be that old. And then they was like, well, where's the last time you saw him? Do you even know him? He's talking about, yeah, he's my nephew through marriage. And he was like, the last time I saw him was basically when he was like in a juvenile prison or whatever the case may be for offenders in this institute. So they like, oh, a kitty jail, just great. At the same time, Socks tells them that the address that's on his application is a fake address for Circus Soleil. So I'm like, what the hell? So in the meantime, Socks is busy going off and saying how he's so mad and he almost drops the N-bomb. He catches himself just in time. And so they was basically like, well, this is not proof. We can't, get him to like know that he's gonna say this unless we could get him to confess and record it, right? So this is their next plan because the good cop, bad cop wasn't working. So they go back in and it's almost like every move they're gonna make, he knows. He says, oh, I know y'all playing good cop, bad cop. Then when he goes back in, he's like, I'm guessing that y'all want to record me and y'all think that I'm gonna, confess to doing something or whatever the case may be. But he says he doesn't think that they're gonna get what they want that way. And so Al basically tells Ern to step out the room, and Al starts telling him this whole story about how he hasn't been able to write anything at all in about 7 months. His mind has just been blank. I guess he's been having writer's block. He was saying that he was never even really into rapping, but now that he does it, that's all he could do, okay? And he says that he was able to record something recently, finally, and it is on his phone, and that's why he needs the phone so bad. So he thinking this is gonna, be able to break him and make him finally give the damn phone in. No, Wally started talking about, oh, well, we share a birthday, right? Both of our birthdays, I think he said, was August 28th or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. And he has his uncle bring him a damn guitar. Apparently, he texts the uncle while the uncle, was out wherever, and he brings him a guitar. And this boy begins to perform a song he wrote, y'all. Now, mind you, it was a little sappy, a little sad, a little offbeat sometime with the guitar playing, but he wasn't bad with his singing. So I'm like, did this boy really steal the phone and do all this stuff so that he could get an audition with, Al? Like, what is going on here? So I'm like, okay. And Al's just sitting here looking at him like this the whole time that he is recording. And so he says to Al after he, finishes singing this song, like, well, thank you for seeing me and I hope you found your phone. So at this point, Al is feeling super defeated. He like, I done sat here all this time. I done poured my heart out to this guy, thinking that he was going to admit to taking the phone and giving me the phone back. I give up. I'm just ready to go at this point. And that is it, right? Child, they go ahead to leave or whatever the case may be. And, they all just like, I'm over this day. Like, you can't dream this up. You can't make this up or whatever the case may be. And you got Socks outside of, the bus that they getting on. And we have V send Earn back a text that's just literally a thumbs up to him asking was she okay and saying that it's been 6 days. I'm like, really, man? Okay. So as they getting on this daggone bus, you got Socks saying to Al, oh, I'm so sorry about that. And Al's like, no problem. Don't you know damn Socks digs in his pocket after that and takes Al's phone out of his pocket and threw it in the damn trash? What was that about, y'all? If anybody know, please put it in the comments, because I didn't get that one. And then proceeds to get on the bus and drive the bus away. Really, Socks? Like I said, that was funny and very weird episode. I don't know what the heck was behind Socks with that, but I know now we know he cannot be trusted. They better be looking out for him. Between him almost dropping the N-bomb and him taking his phone and throwing it in the trash, yeah, he got to go. But that basically was Atlanta, y'all. Y'all let me know. Did you like this episode? You didn't like it. What you looking forward to for the next episode? Do you think they gonna find out that socks is definitely not the one that they need to be having around? And what do y'all think is going on with Van? Put it all in the comments. Let's discuss. All right, like, share, comment, subscribe. Till next time, toodaloo.